Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. Welcome to TST Garage. In this episode, we have a 2017 and up Honda CRF250L in the shop, and we'll be installing some cool new front signals on this bike. Now, Honda outfits these bikes with these giant pumpkin looking incandescent light signal lamps. We're going to change that. We're going to go to a nice LED type signal. Whether you choose our new blade type signals or the more traditional arrow type signals, the installation's pretty much the same. So for this video, we're going to choose the blade type signals. If you go with either one, you can use this video as your guide. Now these are pre-fitted with universal bullet type connectors at the end. We highly recommend getting our optional harness converters that terminate in bullet connectors on one side, so they make a plug-and-play connection with our signals, and then the other side is outfitted with the OEM style plug that will plug in right into your harness. Anytime you go from an incandescent light bulb signal to an LED type signal, you will cause a hyperflash symptom on your bike where the signals will flash much faster than the OEM rate. So we also recommend Gen 2 flasher relay that we produce for these bikes. The installation is really simple. It's located here in this area. We do have a separate video for you guys to follow along with to make your installation really easy. All right, enough yapping. Let's start turning some wrenches and have some fun. All right, so in step one, we will be removing the headlight and its shroud off the bike. This is done by removing 4 fasteners that are symmetrical around the motorcycle. We will use a 5mm Allen to get this done. This assembly is self-supporting even after you take off all the screws, because one of the sides here, the right side of the bike, has a shoulder that fits into this grommet. So to remove this, we will need to pull this towards the right side of the bike and then forward. Slip off the left side first, hold this forward, and now we have access to the back of the headlight where we'll need to remove the plug. All right, now we can set this assembly aside. And we'll identify this cable management wire tie here. It does have a little ratchet clip we'll pull up on, and that'll release it. Take note how it's routed. We will reuse it after our installation gets back to that point. Now we can identify the blue and the orange plug here. These are your signal plugs. I like to use a small flathead screwdriver to pry up on the locking feature of that plug to release it. Go ahead and get these things released. All right. In addition, there is another wire routing part here. This is one of those that interact this way, so we have to disengage it. All right, we could unroute this wire, and this one's already out, so we will grab a 14mm open-ended wrench and undo the nut from the back side of the signal. We'll do that on both sides. Now the nice thing about how Honda designed this setup is that there's not really a big hole behind the signal. Just have a nice little cavity for our new signals to fit through. This will make our installation really, really easy. We'll go ahead and get the fastener nut with the washer off our wires. Fit our signal through. Let's see. These signals are site specific. Our logo is on the back. The logo should be upright, and also there's a half round in the top of the lens, and the bottom of the lens is flat. So the flat part goes down, logo appears upright, and we'll go back on with the washer and the nut. So now as I bottom this out, I'm going to hold my signal body center in that hole. Our stud's just a little bit smaller than Honda's. So you want to center it, and then you also want to make sure that your lens is perpendicular to the ground. Same 14mm wrench will take care of tightening this. Now, what you're looking for here, as far as tightness goes, is to make sure this doesn't move around and doesn't rotate. You don't need to get it farther past that point. If you do, you run the risk of ripping out the stud from this overmolded rubber. So really all you want to do is create enough preload on this system so that the friction of the rubber keeps it from rotating. Now, I've done that here. So I'm going to take my bullet connectors, pass them through the grommet under here, get them on the inside here, and now I'm going to attach our harness converter. This is really simple, yellow to yellow, black to black. And then I'm going to make sure that my insulating caps are over the conductors. Now I will take some electrical tape and lock those little insulators down to make sure that they don't slip off from riding vibration. If they do slip off, it can cause a short circuit and blow a fuse. So now I'm going to want to plug in and test it real quick. I always like to test it after every step, make sure I don't get too far. And it's looking pretty good. As you can see, now we're hyper flashing here because we've changed the OEM incandescent light bulb type signal to an LED type signal that draws much less current. Like I told you guys before, this will require the change of your OEM relay if you want to restore the 85 cycle per minute OEM rate. If this is the rate that you're comfortable with, you probably won't have to do much more. So let's repeat this same exact procedure on the other side of the motorcycle. All right, so at this point, we'll just need to route these wires appropriately, making sure that they fit into their cable management components and get tucked away so they don't vibrate too much. And that's pretty simple. We're just going to mimic what was done originally from the factory. We're going to get the left side signal through that double engagement cable management clip. Get that ratcheted closed. And then the right side can be folded over and insert it into this boot. And now we will reuse this component that we took off earlier. There we go. Now I have it in the right place. There's a nice little wire section back here that this clamps onto. Once this is nice and tight and our wires are routed, we're going to replace the headlight and its shroud. And the shroud will have to go on this stud first. Once that engages, you push it towards the left side of the bike and engage the rest of this geometry. Align it rather. Once all the holes align, you could just replace all of these fasteners. And that's it, we're done. So on this bike, this is actually a really simple installation. You guys could see that it probably takes up to 10 minutes to get this done. You replace this pumpkin, this really sleek looking signal system that packs a lot of punch when it's lit, but looks very stealthy when it's not. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Consider checking out tstindustries.com where you can see these products and other ones like it for this bike, other bikes. Whatever you guys ride, we probably have something for you.